The story begins inside one of the labyrinths, where we watch a person fighting monsters without stopping. That person is our protagonist, Aaron, who eliminates the monstrous rabbits with complete ease. Suddenly, a group of goblins appears before him, and he prepares to eliminate them as well. Aaron uses support magic on himself, a magic that greatly enhances his physical abilities, and he begins to eliminate the monsters with noticeable ease. Although this magic is extremely powerful and useful, especially when fighting within a party, it has a dangerous drawback, which is the limited duration of continuously using the spell. Aaron can use this magic for only 3 minutes, but it is a duration sufficient for him to eliminate all the monsters that face him. But why is Aaron fighting inside the labyrinth alone, and not within a party? We return to the past to understand what happened. We see Aaron with his previous party, where he is surprised that the leader Oliver expels him from the party under the pretext that he is the weakest among the members. Aaron does not believe what is happening, for Oliver is not just a leader, but his childhood friend, and they had founded the party together. Thanks to their efforts, the party was able to reach S rank in record time, and it became known as the Heroes Party, and it was even the first party to reach the 94th floor in the southern labyrinth. Nevertheless, he is expelled this easily. Oliver explains the reason, saying that during a joint quest with another party last month, they witnessed the true power of support magic users, and they realized that Aaron was not strong enough, but had become a reason for delaying the party's progress. Aaron tries to defend himself, explaining that his main specialization was a swordsman, and that he was not a support user from the beginning, but he was forced to learn this role because the party needed it. But Oliver responds to him coldly, confirming that they have already found a better support user than him. At that moment, Aaron realizes that it is over. On the other hand, the rest of the party members did not show any sadness, but were happy about his departure, and they began to mock him, saying, "You may possess more than one specialization, but you are weak in both." We return to the present inside the labyrinth, where Aaron decides to challenge everything, and to clear the labyrinth alone to prove his strength to everyone. Until now, he has managed to reach the 7th floor, and he heads to record his progress through the transfer crystal. But at that moment, he notices a group of people running, and signs of terror were apparent on them. Speaking about the rest of the events, it becomes clear that these people are a party of adventurers who were inside the labyrinth, and they faced a group of powerful orcs, and for that, they were forced to flee. From their conversation, Aaron realizes that they left one of their party members there as bait to make their escape easier, while the leader justifies his action by saying that she was still new, and that it was their only option to stay alive. Aaron becomes extremely angry upon hearing that, and he rebukes them for their baseness and vileness. Then he asks them to determine her location immediately without hesitation. On the other side, the girl was surrounded by the orcs, and in her last hope, while she trembles from fear, she creates a magical barrier to protect herself, but she does not know whether she will survive or die. With the increasing numbers of monsters and their continuous pressure, the barrier begins to fade gradually, and she loses hope completely, surrendering to her inevitable fate. Suddenly, wind magic appears in the place. We return to Aaron, who has finally arrived, and he rushes directly into battle without a moment of hesitation, launching a swift attack with his sword, enhancing his strikes with support magic so his strength and speed multiply noticeably. He moves with astonishing agility between the orcs and eliminates them one after another with overwhelming ease, even with their large numbers. The girl is astonished by his unnatural power, and she cannot determine whether he is merely a swordsman or a mage who combines both. In fleeting moments, he has finished all the monsters before him without leaving any threat. After that, he heads to her to check on her condition, then helps her to stand, and takes her with him to exit the labyrinth safely. She introduces herself as Sophia Colodel, and thanks him with deep gratitude for saving her life. Aaron feels that her family name is not unfamiliar to him, as if he had heard it before. During that, Sophia decides to invite him to dinner as an expression of her gratitude, and he refuses at first due to his unwillingness to socialize, but after her insistence, he agrees in the end. She takes him to a restaurant that carries the emblem of the Rabbit Guild, and at that moment, Aaron confirms that she belongs to the Silver Rabbits Guild, one of the strongest and largest guilds in the kingdom, which is led by the Colodel family. After that, They enter the restaurant, and there Sophia finds her older sister. The surprise is that her sister knows Aaron, and he knows her as well. She is Celia Colodel, the leader of the strongest party in the Silver Rabbits Guild, and known for being a genius in using support magic. Rather, she is classified as the strongest in this field within the kingdom. She is the one who came up with the idea that each member in the party should have a specific specialization, and this idea changed the method of conquering labyrinths and achieved astonishing results. On the other hand, she was the reason that Aaron changed his specialization to support magic to balance his party, and she was also present in the joint quest in which Oliver and the rest of the members were amazed by her power, which ultimately led to their decision to expel Aran. We return to the present, where Celia becomes annoyed when she sees Aran with her sister, thinking that he is bothering her, but Sophia explains to her that Aran is the one who saved her life. At that, Celia becomes angry at her sister for going to the labyrinth without permission. Then she apologizes to Aaron for the misunderstanding. They sit together, and Sophia is surprised by their previous acquaintance, so Celia explains to her that they had met inside the labyrinth before, and she also tells her that he was one of the members of the Heroes Party. Sophia is shocked by this truth, but Aaron calms the situation and tells them that the matter has ended, and that he is no longer part of that party. Celia is surprised at how the party abandoned a talent like him, but she moves past the matter and takes advantage of the fact that he is available to propose that he joins a small quest, which is a training expedition whose goal is to train the new members inside the labyrinth, where they are supposed to reach the 50th floor within only 3 days. Aaron is surprised by this difficult objective because even the strongest parties need much more time, but he realizes that there is a hidden reason related to problems inside the guild. Despite Celia's respect for his power and her trust in him, he apologizes at first because he is still affected by what happened to him with his party. On the other hand, Sophia asks him to join as well because she will be part of this expedition, so Aaron hesitates and tells them that he will take time to think. He also explains to Celia that he changed his specialization from support to swordsman, and she does not object. Rather, she asks him to come to the guild headquarters the next day if he decides to agree. After that, Aaron leaves and heads to a shop of an old man whom he knows well and calls grandfather. They sit together and drink tea, and the man thanks him because his shop has become more famous because of him. Aaron feels sad and apologizes because he was expelled from the hero's party and will not be able to help him as before, but the man reassures him with confidence, confirming that he knows him well and that what happened to him is not the end of the road, but its true beginning, and he encourages him to move forward, confirming that he will reach a result worthy of his effort. In another place, Celia was speaking with the leader of the Silver Rabbits Guild, and she tells him that Aaron left the hero's party, so he is shocked by this news and sees it as a great loss. Celia confirms to him that Aaron's support magic may not be the best in terms of power, but it is distinguished by astonishing casting speed, which may surpass others by several times, in addition to his high ability to analyze the course of battles and make precise decisions, which means that the hero's party will be greatly affected by his departure. On the next day, Aaron arrives at the guild headquarters and meets the leader. Then Celia explains to him the details of the quest, where they will lead 10 parties of beginners, accompanied by only 5 escorts, among them Aaron and Celia, and they will not intervene except in case of a real danger that threatens the lives of the students. Aaron is surprised by the small number of escorts compared to the size of the quest, so Celia answers him that this will help the students gain real combat experience. But he realizes that there is another reason that was not mentioned, and despite that, he decides to agree. After that, we see him on the next day at the entrance of the labyrinth. Celia and Sophia arrive and ask him about the reason for standing away from the rest of the group, so he explains that he is still new to them. Celia notices the students' tension, so she decides to calm them. But before that, she introduces Aran to the rest of the escorts, and he notices that each one of them has a precisely defined role within the formation, and that the party lacks only an attacker and a buffer, which raises his doubts more about the reason for choosing him. The question marks increase in his mind, wondering whether Celia would have included him if he had not declared himself as an attacker. After that, Celia delivers a motivational speech to the students and presents Aaron to them as one of the members of the hero's party who reached the 94th floor, so he is surprised by her sudden announcement. But the effect of her words is clear, as the students' tension turns into enthusiasm and readiness. Aaron feels some annoyance because he knows that this information may cause him problems later, especially after leaving the party, but Celia tells him that he will be with the 10th party, which includes the best and most outstanding students. He heads to meet them and finds Sophia among them, along with the party leader Logan, who appears arrogant and overly confident in his power, especially since he is a support magic user and aspires to surpass Celia herself, in addition to Caroline, who introduces herself as a defender, despite not wearing armor, but relying on 2 short daggers, explaining that her defensive style depends on evasion and speed instead of direct endurance, which is a more difficult style and requires high skill. As for Sophia, she is the main mage of the party. After that, everyone moves inside the labyrinth, where the quest actually begins, and there Caroline asks Aaron about the reason for the presence of a former member of the heroes' party with them in this expedition, so he answers her calmly that he was from the heroes' party. As for now, he is no longer one of them. Caroline is surprised by that and asks him how he leaves the heroes' party, which is the party that is admired by everyone, and she tries to know the reason, but he refuses to answer. After that, they continue their path, but suddenly monstrous wolves appear in the place and begin to move to attack them. Aaron notices them in advance, as he was prepared, so as soon as they approach, a ground spell is activated, causing massive rocks to surge from the ground and eliminate them quickly. He did that to end the battle quickly, because time was important for them. After some time passes, they reach the 20th floor, and during the path, Aaron was observing the movements of the party with precision. He noticed that everyone is indeed distinguished, but each of them has weaknesses. Logan possesses an astonishing ability in using support magic, but his main problem is that he does not excel at giving orders or organizing the party, despite that this is the true role of the supporter. As for Caroline, she is very fast, but her flaw is that she attacks recklessly without calculation. In addition, that her 2 daggers are not sufficient in some situations. As for Sophia, she is also strong, but her hesitation within the battle hinders her performance. After that, all the parties reach the boss of the 20th floor, and they manage to eliminate it. Then they record their progress in the transfer jewel to begin on the next day from the same point. After that, they leave the labyrinth. Celia asks Aaron about his opinion of the 10th party, so he tells her that they are indeed distinguished, but they have some flaws that must be addressed. On the next day, Aaron wakes up to a shock as he sees the news of his expulsion from the heroes' party published on the front page. He expected that to happen, but he hoped that they would delay the announcement until the training quest ends, because this news may affect the students' mentality and change their view of him. After that, he moves to go to them, but on the way someone calls him, and a girl whom he knows well appears. She is Luna, one of the members of the heroes' party, and his close friend, just like Oliver. She was the only one whose treatment toward him did not change, and she always appreciated and respected him. She was not present when he was expelled, and she was shocked when she learned about it, and for that she came to ask him to return. But Aaron tells her that it is too late. She tries to remind him of the promise that they made together in the past, that they would clear the labyrinth together, but he refuses and leaves. Despite being affected and returning to his memories with her, he realizes that what happened cannot be changed. After that, he heads toward the labyrinth, while he thinks about the reaction of the students after they knew that he was expelled because of his weakness, and he did not rule out that they would lose trust in him. Indeed, when he arrives, he notices that the news has reached them, and everyone is surprised by what they heard, especially Logan, who began to feel frustrated after he used to see Aaron as a role model. Aaron notices the change in the way they deal with him, and he expected that. At that moment, Celia arrives with the rest of the escorts quickly after she learned what happened, and she apologizes to Aaron because she put him in this situation, as she was only trying to ease the students' tension. But Aaron tells her that the fault is his fault, because he did not clarify his situation from the beginning, and he asks her that they deal normally so they can complete the quest safely. The tension begins to decrease a little when one of the escorts confirms that Aaron cannot be weak, as he previously reached the 94th floor. After that, Aaron heads to his party, and Logan asks him directly whether what was said in the news is true, and that he was indeed expelled because of his weakness. Aaron answers him with complete honesty that this is true, and that he was weak. Sophia objects to that, because she saw his power when he eliminated dozens of orcs in moments, but he explains to them that he is no longer the hero they expected, and that he is now just an ordinary adventurer, but he is still able to fight with them and help them until the quest ends. Indeed, they move and begin from the 21st floor, and it was supposed for them to reach the 35th floor on this day. Aaron was aware that he should not interfere in leadership until they reached the 31st floor, because leadership in this stage belongs to the trainees, and they are the ones who deal with situations by themselves. They advance gradually until they reach that floor, and at that point, Aaron begins to give orders. He notices at this time that Sophia and Caroline deal with him normally, unlike Logan, who lost his trust in him. Suddenly, Aaron senses the approach of monsters, and they were a group of goblins. He orders Caroline to distract them, while Sophia and Logan support her from behind. But Logan does not wait for orders, and immediately begins using his magic on Caroline, believing that matters are under control. At that moment, Sophia faces one of the orcs, so she feels fear and cannot move. Logan sees that Aaron is standing without intervention, but suddenly, Aaron uses a weakening spell on the orc, so he stops its movement. After that, he heads towards Sophia to check on her and calm her, so she regains her balance and begins to use her magic with great power and eliminates the orc completely, which surprises Aaron himself from its intensity. On the other hand, Logan begins to reevaluate his position, as he saw Aaron using powerful magic with mastery, and he could not comprehend how he was expelled from the heroes' party. After that, they continue advancing until they reach their next destination, where a giant spider appears before them. Logan feels fear and does not know how they will deal with it, but he is surprised by Aaron giving orders with steadiness. He orders Caroline to move, so she immediately rushes toward the monster. Logan tries to stop her because he sees the matter as dangerous, but Aaron prevents him, clarifying that the supporter does not advance to the front. Then he asks Caroline to attack the monster from behind to draw its attention, while Logan enhances her strength and speed. After that, it becomes Sophia's turn, who attacks with strong wind magic, and she manages to cut one of the spider's legs and fix it in its place. Despite that, Aaron realizes that the battle has not ended yet. Indeed, the spider attacks Caroline with its web and captures her. Logan's enhancement magic was protecting her partially, but the spider's threads were very strong and she could not free herself from them. At that point, Aaron intervenes and makes her daggers sharper with his magic, so she succeeds in cutting the threads and freeing herself. By this, the battle of that day ends, and only one day remains to complete the quest. After that, everyone returns to their homes. But Aaron is surprised that two of the escorts, Alex and Rye, offer him to have dinner with them, so he agrees. On the other side, Logan was walking with Sophia and Caroline, so he takes the opportunity and asks Sophia about what happened on the day Aaron saved her. So she tells him everything that happened, and that he was using the sword and magic at the same time because he changed his specialization. Logan is shocked by this speech, because during this day, he saw before him a perfect supporter from all aspects, in addition to the weakening spell that he used, which was very powerful to the extent that even Celia herself does not use it often due to its difficulty, while Aaron used it with complete ease. Also, his method in organizing the battle was precise, as he predicted the monster's attacks and determined the position of each individual at the appropriate time. Above all that, he is also a strong attacker. At that moment, Logan realizes that his previous view was wrong, and that Aaron is not just an ordinary adventurer, but a powerful genius. This drives him to become enthusiastic to become stronger, and to reach his level and even surpass him. In another place, Aaron was sitting with Alex and Ree, and enjoying his time with them, because he did not have such moments when he was in the heroes' party. They ask him why he said that he is an attacker, while it was stated in the news that he is a supporter, so he explains to them that he changed his specialization, or rather returned to his original specialization, as he was a swordsman from the beginning, and he loved the sword greatly because his grandfather was also a swordsman, and he used to watch him while he defeated monsters with admiration, and from here, his passion for the sword began. Indeed, he was a strong swordsman inside the heroes' party, but the problem began when they reached the deep floors, where their progress slowed down, so they decided to apply Celia's idea, and since he is multi-talented, he was chosen to change his specialization to support her to achieve balance. Thanks to that, they were able to reach the 94th floor, but inside him, he knew that this was not enough, and that the party would not be able to advance further. Alex asks him about his goal, so Aaron answers that he wants to become a swordsman capable of reaching a power that enables him to clear the labyrinth alone. Despite the difficulty of this dream, Alex and Rye were confident in his ability to achieve it. On the next day, everyone is surprised that the heroes' party themselves headed to the labyrinth. After a while, Aaron also arrives. Since this is his last day with the party, They decided to ask him for a request after the quest ends, but before knowing this request, Celia calls him. While he was walking, he hears the students talking about the heroes party who decided to enter the labyrinth today, and they will begin from the 92nd floor to test their harmony with the new member. Eren says to himself that this is dangerous for them, and it would have been better to start from an easier floor, but he decides not to intervene. In another place, we see the heroes party, and they have indeed reached the 92nd floor. With them is the new supporter Veli. Everyone expected them to present astonishing results, especially after Eren's absence, while Luna was the only one who expected the opposite. As for Oliver, he wanted to prove to her specifically that Eren is just a failure. We return to the past 2 days earlier, when the party held a reception for the new member. At that time, Luna returned shocked after she heard that Eren would join the Silver Rabbits Guild, and she did not know that he was expelled from the party. She did not believe what she heard from Oliver, and tried to convince him and the rest of the members that Eren was the most important element in the party, and thanks to him, they reached their current level. But no one was convinced by her words, and she lost hope. After that, they told her that they would head to the 92nd floor to conduct a cooperation test among them. Luna did not agree to the idea because this floor is very dangerous and may lead to their death, but they mocked her words, confirming that they had surpassed this floor before. She tried to remind them of the presence of a giant black dragon there, but they did not care, and Oliver confirmed that this is a final decision. We return to the present, where the party indeed reaches the 92nd floor, and they face a massive monster. Oliver blocks its attack, but he is surprised when he attacks that his strike does not affect it. At the same time, he feels a strange heaviness after Veli enhanced his equipment, and doubt begins to creep into him. He was not alone, as Derek loses his balance in front of the monster's attacks, and Nellie's magical spells become much weaker. When the monster attacks them, they are not able to evade its strikes. Oliver is surprised, because he expected them to be stronger, since Veli's magic is supposed to be stronger than Eren's magic, but what is happening is the complete opposite. He tries to control the situation, and orders them to surround the monster, but it attacks quickly and prevents them from executing their plan. Eren in the past used to spare them this confusion, because he used to observe the battle and direct them with precision. Luna realizes that well, and she was about to tell the party that this is the reason for their weakness, but suddenly something appears from above. Their worst nightmares come true. The black dragon appears. The floor boss. It descends with overwhelming force and shows the extent of its terror when it eliminates the massive monster they were struggling against with a single strike only. Luna screams and asks them to flee immediately, but they refuse under the pretext that they defeated this dragon before and they can do that again. But they learned nothing. Derek advances first, but he receives a direct fire attack from the dragon and is thrown away and loses consciousness. Luna heads toward him quickly to try to heal him. At that moment, Veli is in a state of shock, unable to move. Nellie attacks the dragon with her magic, but it is not affected at all, and with one strike from it, she falls unconscious as well. Oliver cannot believe what is happening, but Luna brings him back to reality quickly because the dragon has begun to prepare its strongest attack. Oliver hastens to bring Veli out of her shock and asks her to enhance his power immediately. She responds, and he begins to prepare his strongest attack, the Sacred Sword Strike. He rushes toward the dragon with everything he has, but the dragon's attack is much stronger, and Oliver is thrown away, and their last hope shatters. Oliver stands helpless, not comprehending what happened, and does not know what to do. Luna intervenes and calms him, and asks him to think. There is no option left for them except to use the transfer gate, which will transport them to a random place inside the labyrinth. But any place will be better than facing this dragon. They help each other with difficulty, and begin to open the gate. Before they enter, an unexpected thing happens. The dragon suddenly moves and pushes them away from the gate. Then it enters inside it. The gate closes immediately. Everyone thinks that they have become safe, but what happened is the worst possible scenario. The dragon has been transported to another floor, and the labyrinth is full of adventurers. All their lives have become in danger. For that, there is no option left for them except to head quickly to the guild. They agree on the necessity of informing the guild immediately and requesting the evacuation of all adventurers from inside the labyrinth. Oliver agrees to the decision without hesitation, even if they are subjected to punishment, because what matters now is saving lives. At the beginning, Luna treats Derek and Nellie, then tells Oliver that they need Aaron's help if they want to defeat the dragon. Everyone opposes her words, but she confirms that what happened was not because of their weakness, but because of Aaron's absence. Her words seem illogical to them because Veli is supposed to have stronger magic, but Luna explains that the hero's party possesses high resistance to magic, which makes ordinary enhancement insufficient for them, while Aaron was the only one capable of providing them with the appropriate type of enhancement. Not only that, but because of the delay of the other supporters, he created special spells of his own, which is an extremely difficult matter. After the treatment ends, they move to exit the labyrinth. Luna continues her explanation, confirming that Aaron managed to develop a spell that multiplies power 50 times, which is a shocking number, especially since Celia herself, who is considered the strongest, can only multiply power 10 times. By this, it becomes clear that the strength of the hero's party depended mainly on Iran, in addition to his enhancement of equipment, which removed the sensation of its weight during battle. All the evidence indicates that he was the real reason behind the party's success, but Oliver, from within, refuses to admit that, and insists that he defeated the dragon before, and will be able to defeat it again without Iran, and completely rejects the idea of relying on him. On the other hand, Iran was preparing to enter the labyrinth with the party, but he feels something strange, as if there is an invisible danger. During that, Caroline comes and asks him for some advice to improve her performance in battle and increase the number of monsters she eliminates, but he rejects this approach and asks her to focus on her role as a defender instead of attacking. But she sees that eliminating a greater number of monsters will reduce the pressure on the party. Aaron tries to clarify the importance of cooperation between party members, and Logan joins the conversation, pointing out that this advice resembles what the adventurer Albert used to say. The name draws the attention of Celia as well as Aaron because he was the main attacker of the Silver Rabbits Guild, but he was killed last year during his fight against the Black Dragon on the 92nd floor. Caroline is affected by the talk, and her facial expression changes to sadness, so Aaron tries to change the atmosphere and begins to give them practical advice for combat. After that, they enter the labyrinth. During that, Celia calls Aaron and notices that the students have begun to trust him, which is a positive thing after the spread of the news of his expulsion. She talks about Albert and confirms that his loss was a strong blow to the guild as they drop to the second place after the heroes' party. Aaron responds that even that dragon was difficult for them, and he offers her condolences for the loss of her companion. Celia confirms that his death left a great void and asks Aaron to join them, but he sees that having supporters in one party is not ideal, so she suggests that he joins as a swordsman, then leaves him to think. After that, Celia gives instructions to the students and divides the parties into groups that disperse inside the labyrinth, on the condition that they meet at the boss of the last floor. As for the 10th party, it remains alone. Caroline feels worried about getting lost, so Aaron explains to her that adventurers explore the floors multiple times to draw precise maps, then share them, and this is the advantage of the major guilds. They ask him to talk about the lower floors, so he begins to explain his experiences there. Time passes and they reach the 40th floor, but they are surprised by the absence of any monsters. Aaron feels the same strange sensation again, and realizes that monsters do not disappear without a reason. At that moment, Caroline notices the appearance of a strange goblin and rushes to attack it immediately. Aaron tries to stop her, but he cannot, so he uses a weakening spell on it, and she succeeds in killing it. Aaron reproaches her for her recklessness, clarifying that her action could have put the party in danger. She apologizes, so he decides to train her on the skill of predicting the enemy's attacks and repelling them, because that is the true function of the defender. Logan becomes excited and asks to learn the weakening spell, but Aaron explains to him that it is very difficult, and it is from advanced magic, and it may not affect the bosses of the lower floors easily. Therefore, he must focus on strengthening enhancement magic. He also teaches him trap magic to protect the party and give them an advantage. After that, he heads to Sophia and tells her of the necessity of learning parallel casting, which enables her to use more than one spell at the same time. She used to think that one strong spell is sufficient, but he explains that this is not enough in the lower floors, and that speed and multiplicity are the key to survival. She becomes convinced and asks him to train her, so he agrees on the condition of Celia's approval. In another place, Luna arrives with the heroes' party to the guild, and they head immediately to the president. Luna asks to use the transfer spell to evacuate all adventurers from the labyrinth. The president is shocked and realizes that a disaster has occurred. Luna explains to him the situation and that the dragon may have already reached the adventurers. The board of directors is summoned, and they begin immediately to prepare the transfer spell. This incident will fall under the responsibility of the heroes party, and after evacuating everyone, they will have to face the dragon. Not everyone accepts the idea, but Luna agrees immediately, with a special request from the president. We return to Iran, who joins Celia and the rest of the parties. They are now standing in front of the boss of the 40th floor, and this battle will be for the escorts only, while the students watch to learn. The battle begins, and Eren moves directly and attacks the beastman to restrict its movement, and when it tries to retreat, it falls into a trap that Eren had prepared beforehand. On the other side, Celia enhances the party's attacker, so he rushes with a decisive attack that ends the life of the monster in a single moment. All of that happens in seconds before the eyes of the students, who are astonished by the true harmony of the party, and they see how Eren restricted the monster's movement to grant his party the opportunity to eliminate it with ease. From that moment, he begins to grow in their eyes as a true role model. We move to Luna and the heroes party as they run at their maximum speed toward the labyrinth. It becomes clear that she requested from the guild president to summon everyone who is between the 40th and 50th floors, because she knows that Eren is among them and they need him to defeat the dragon. During that, Eren and the rest of the party arrive at the final boss, which takes the form of a giant crab. Eren advances and attacks it with a powerful strike of his sword, so its limbs are cut off easily. The rest of the party joins, and they manage to eliminate it, and thus the quest ends safely. But suddenly, they feel an immense force pressing on them. A mysterious gate opens, and from it, the black dragon emerges. It did not find a place to appear except here. Everyone is struck by shock from the aura of terror that surrounds it. Even Eren himself, the escorts, and the students. Everyone freezes under the pressure of its power. Eren tries to think quickly to find a way to survive, and he finds no option except reaching the transfer crystal to save everyone. But no one can move, except him. Instead of fleeing, he decides to save them. He calls Celia and the escorts to awaken them and orders them to protect the students. They respond quickly and form a magical barrier. The dragon attacks with immense flames, and it was supposed that the barrier would shatter, but Eren enhances its power, so it holds. Everyone is surprised, and Celia realizes what is happening. Eren stands alone facing the dragon. He throws a dagger toward its eye to distract it, then rushes with his sword. Despite the power of the attack, it leaves no effect. He knew that this would happen, so he reassures the students that he has a plan. He wears a strange chain and advances toward the dragon to draw its attention, granting the others the opportunity to escape. But Celia refuses to leave him because she does not want to lose another friend because of this dragon. The dragon attacks, so Eren uses a magical shield that reflects attacks, which is the reflective shield spell that he invented himself. But the reflected attacks do not affect the dragon. Eren realizes that he must risk his life. He begins to gather 6 types of enhancement in one spell and enhances his entire body with it. Celia is shocked by what she sees, but he surprises her more and repeats the spell on himself 5 additional times, so his abilities multiply enormously. The dragon attacks, but Eren disappears in a moment. Despite his power, he uses 30 spells at once, which exhausts his body greatly. He moves to attack, but the dragon responds with its tail. At that moment, Eren forms a platform in the air and stands on it. Everyone thinks that it is a spell, but it is a unique ability of his own, which allows him to materialize mana and shape it as he wishes. He executes a massive attack and finally manages to wound the dragon, but he lands while in a state of extreme exhaustion. Celia stands helpless and decides to protect the students. The dragon begins to gather a strange energy and attacks with continuous magic. Before Eren's fate becomes clear, we return to the past. We see Eren, Oliver, and Luna in their childhood, playing happily. Suddenly, their lives turn when Eren and Oliver return to their village to find it destroyed and their loved ones killed at the hands of bandits. The 2 children collapse from grief and bury their dead, and from that moment, they swear to become strong and not to allow anyone to take something precious from them again. We return to the present, where Eren remembers his vow and decides to end this battle no matter the cost. Everyone rejoices upon seeing him still alive, but the danger has not ended, as the dragon has become capable of using mana just like Eren. It forms magical arrows and attacks him with them, but Eren evades them all and responds with a fiery attack, then tries to attack with the sword, but he collides with a solid body. The dragon responds with a new attack, so Eren forms a rocky barrier to protect himself. The battle enters another level, and everyone watches a human standing before a dragon of this power. Eren knows that victory is difficult, difficult because this time he is fighting alone, but he does not surrender. He uses parallel casting and launches multiple spells at the same time, but he knows that they will not decide the battle. At that point, he uses his special ability and gathers energy around his sword until it turns black, then launches an attack 100 times stronger. He succeeds in penetrating the dragon's attack and reaching it, but the dragon sacrifices its tail to avoid the strike. Eren continues the battle, while the dragon continues its attack. He feels that the enhancement has begun to weaken, and Celia tries to help him, but he refuses so that he does not become distracted. Despite the exhaustion, he enhances himself again, and launches a lightning strike that knocks the dragon to the ground, but it is still alive. The dragon rises. Eren's sword breaks. He realizes that this strike will be the last. He refuses to surrender. He summons a gigantic sword from pure darkness. The dragon attacks him with its arrows, but he forms reflective barriers that return the attacks to it. In a decisive moment, he reaches it and launches an attack in which he gathered all his power, multiplying the spells 100 times in a single strike. He strikes the dragon and ends it. Eren appears from within the smoke, leaning on his sword from the intensity of exhaustion. Everyone's fear turns into hysterical joy, unable to believe that a single human managed to defeat a dragon of such power. After that, Luna and the rest of the party arrive at the entrance of the cave, and they see the light of transfer in the distance, and they confirm that all the adventurers have been saved. At that moment they see a majestic scene. The dragon's corpse lies before them, and Luna sees Eren injured, and she realizes that he was the one who was fighting the dragon. Luna heads toward him quickly to treat his wounds, but he stops her immediately and asks her to take care first of clearing the place and securing it. At that moment, she notices something shocking. There is no injured person except Eren alone. She exchanges looks with everyone, and they collide with the truth when they realize that he is the one who defeated the dragon alone. Derek refuses to believe that, and considers it impossible, but Luna interrupts him firmly and stops him from speaking, confirming that the truth is clear as the sun and does not need argument. His anger toward her increases because she always defends him, so he loses his temper and tries to attack her, but she uses her power immediately and restrains him in his place, and he becomes completely unable to move. As for Oliver, he was looking in silence at his friend who surpassed all limits, while he turns his back to him and leaves. Anger and sadness were clear in his eyes, but he did not utter a word. By that, it can be said that the quest has officially ended successfully. On the next day, we see Eren in his room, screaming from the intensity of pain. He tries to move, but his entire body was shattered. He uses a spell to ease the pain so he can stand, and despite that, the pain remains present. Despite everything he did, no serious side effects appeared on him. He looks from the window and sees Celia has come to visit him. He goes out to sit with her, so she asks him about his condition, and he answers her that he is fine. At that, she stands and bows to him in respect and thanks him for everything he has done, because thanks to him, they were able to complete the quest without any losses. But Eren sees that what he did does not deserve thanks, because he simply did what he had to do. After that, she asks him to go with her to the guild headquarters if he is available, because the leader wishes to meet him. He agrees and heads with her, where the leader receives him and thanks him for everything he has done. Then, with complete clarity, he offers him to join as an attacker in the first party of the Silver Rabbits Guild, in addition to the position of lieutenant within the clan. Eren realizes that this is an offer that cannot be refused easily, but he asks for time to think. The leader agrees to his request, and before he leaves, he tells him that the Adventurers Guild also wishes to meet him. Eren leaves the headquarters, immersed in thought, wondering if this offer is his chance to obtain a new party again. After that, he heads to the Adventurers Guild, where he meets the president and the board of directors, and he finds the Heroes Party present as well. The president begins the speech, saying that he heard that Eren defeated the dragon alone, but Derek interrupts him arrogantly, confirming that this is not true, and that they are the ones who weakened the dragon first, and that Eren only came to take the credit. Not only that, but he mocks Eren, wondering if he is this strong, then why did he not defeat it from the beginning? Eren does not respond immediately, but asks for permission to speak, then directs his speech to Oliver, and asks him about the reason for entering the 92nd floor despite its danger. Oliver responds that this is something natural, because they have a new supporter stronger than him. Eren is not annoyed by his expulsion, but he is annoyed by Oliver's arrogant view towards supporters. So Oliver responds coldly that their role is limited to staying in the back and using magic only. At that, Aaron reaches his limit and raises his voice, saying that the supporter is responsible for calculating the timing of enhancement for each individual, renewing spells continuously, and monitoring the course of the battle moment by moment, and he asks whether he sees all of that as easy. Oliver becomes silent, unable to respond. In another place, Sophia was with Logan and Caroline, talking about Aaron. Logan asks whether she knows what he will do after the quest ends, or where he will go, but she does not know. But she hopes that he will join the Silver Rabbits Guild. Logan and Caroline agree with her, and the three decide to go to him and ask him to join, but they do not know his location, so they decide to ask for help from Celia. At that time, Celia was thinking about the same matter, and she thought that Aaron would refuse because he simply no longer needs a party. Rather, the party may be an obstacle for him. Logan and the others arrive to her and ask to know his location, so she tells them what she was thinking, but they do not care, because they want to be with him in the same party, to learn from him and become stronger and prove themselves to him. Celia's view changes, and she feels that she also wants to become stronger to prove to him that she is capable of helping him. So she tells them that Aaron went to the Adventurers Guild, and they head immediately toward him. At that moment, Aaron has left the guild, leaving the board of directors discussing the punishment of the heroes' party. He feels extreme exhaustion, then he notices Sophia and the others running toward him. He understands what they want, so he decides to escape. He enters one of the side alleys quickly, but they notice him and follow him. He jumps over one of the houses and moves with agility until he disappears from their sight without them noticing him. They continue searching for him throughout the day without finding him. While he succeeds in reaching the old man's shop, the man asks him about the reason for his escape, so Aaron answers him that he decided not to join the Silver Rabbits Guild, but he fears to tell them his decision so that he does not cause them sadness. Grandfather laughs at his behavior, as if he had expected this decision from the beginning. He tells him calmly that he knows well that he is searching for a place he belongs to, but he advises him that belonging does not mean accepting any offer just to feel comfortable, for not every place is suitable to be a true home. On that night, we move to Aaron as he stands in a green garden, contemplating the calm light of the moon. The scene was still in a comforting way, as if the world had stopped for a moment. By coincidence, Sophia arrives at the same place, and it becomes clear that she comes here often to watch the moon. She exchanges conversation with him, first thanking him for saving them, then she enters directly into the matter and asks him to join the Silver Rabbits Guild. Aaron asks her about the meaning of the party for her, so she answers him honestly that she lived with them many memories, and that she considers them her true home, the place to which she belongs. Her words were simple, but they affected him deeply. On the next day, we see him in the office of the leader of the Silver Rabbits, who is called Venez. After long thinking, Aaron finally decides to accept the offer and join them. At that moment, Celia arrives and brings him his new uniform, so he wears it and goes out. Outside, he finds Sophia, Logan, and Caroline waiting for him eagerly, and as soon as they know that he agreed, great joy overwhelms them, as if they obtained something they had been waiting for a long time. After that, we move to Aaron's memories with Oliver after the incident that destroyed their village. We see them training, where Oliver manages to defeat Aaron easily. At that moment, some people appear around them, and they describe Oliver as the promised person who will fulfill their wishes. But Oliver himself was not comfortable because he knew that Aaron did not use his true power. Rather, he deliberately lost. When he confronts him, Aaron denies that and says that he lost because he is weaker than him. Oliver leaves while he is angry, while Aaron admits to himself that he did that so that he would not be killed. At that moment, a girl called Cheyenne appears, who was also aware of the truth. She asks him why he hides his power, so he admits that he is a coward because he does not want to bear the responsibility of others' dreams, and that Oliver is the one who bears this burden now, and he only wants to help him. Cheyenne reassures him that they will stay together, and they will defeat their enemy one day, although they do not know who this enemy is. Then she reveals that she possesses the same mysterious power that he possesses, but without details. Before she leaves, she promises him that she will exert her effort to reach his level, and asks him to be her guide. From here, the story begins to take a completely different turn. We return to the present, where the head of the Southern Guild heads to meet an important person in his office, and it becomes clear that this person is the Supreme President of the Guild Alliance. He tells him that one of the adventurers in the south faced the black dragon alone and managed to defeat it. He rejoices at first, thinking that Oliver is the one who did that, but his shock becomes great when he learns that the one who did it is not him. He wonders in astonishment whether Eren is the one who defeated the dragon, and the guild leader is surprised how he knows him in the first place. But that man was not interested in that. Rather, he was thinking about something else entirely, wondering whether Eren had returned to his original state, or that he only obtained a new power that enabled him to defeat the dragon. Here, the mystery appears. Who is this man? And what is his relation to Eren? And what is this original state that he is talking about? All that we know currently is that the Guild Alliance follows the church. On the next day, we move to the Eastern Lands, where we see a group of 4 people facing a group of adventurers, and the battle ends with a massacre as it becomes clear that the adventurers are the ones who began the attack. But they were all killed. One of them asks the party leader about what they will do now, and here the shock comes. The leader is Shion. She orders them to move immediately, but suddenly a person appears from nowhere, carrying a message from the Supreme Council, informing her that a person in the Southern Labyrinth managed to defeat the Black Dragon alone, and that they must contact him, and if it turns out that he is an enemy and join the church, then they must kill him immediately. Shion excludes that it is Oliver, but she is surprised by the presence of a person with such power in the south. She decides to move there, but she warns her party because the area belongs to the church. She begins to think and wonders whether it is possible for a person like her to appear in the south. And if that happens, the southern lands may disappear as happened in the west, and she will never allow that because she must complete the will of her beloved who died. And who is this beloved? He is Eren. Shion believes that he died, and she now lives to achieve his goal, and she never forgot the news of his death. And she seeks to take revenge on the members of the church who were the reason for that. At the same time, we move to a meeting inside the headquarters of the Silver Rabbits Guild, where the board of directors gathers to discuss appointing Eren with the rank of lieutenant. The leader Vinez presents him and praises him greatly, but the decision requires the approval of 2/3 of the members of the council. Before the voting begins, one of the council members steps forward and asks Eren whether he is ready to sacrifice himself for the clan if necessary. Eren answers him with complete clarity that he is not, because his primary goal is not the clan's reputation, but protecting people, especially the villagers from monsters, while he will defend the party members even if it costs him his life. His words leave a strong impact on those present, so they all vote in his favor, and he officially becomes the new lieutenant, succeeding Albert who died long ago. After that, Celia takes him to introduce him to the first party, but suddenly a woman appears and stops them. Celia tells him that she is Stella, the head of Adventurers Affairs, and she was present in the meeting. She came to welcome him and asks him to train a new party of adventurers so they can benefit from his experience. Eren does not refuse, but he points out his commitment to his duties with the first party. Celia reassures him that they receive sufficient leave and he will have time for that. So he agrees in the end. After that, he goes with Celia to meet the first party, the strongest party in the Silver Rabbits Guild. They receive him warmly, as they have heard a lot about him. Introductions begin. Rin, the party's mage, Lucre, the healer, Alex, the defender, and Celia, the leader. Then Eren introduces himself, clarifying that he will be the attacker. He notices that the atmosphere is comfortable, and everyone deals with him freely. They ask him about how he defeated the dragon, so he explains to them that he relied on a special spell that he invented himself, and begins to clarify its mechanism. He also reveals his weakness, which is that he cannot use magic higher than the intermediate level, and he does not know the reason. Alex asks him whether he possesses a unique ability, and he confirms that, so they discover that 3 of the party members possess special abilities. When he asks them about the rest, Celia tells him that he will know during training. Before that, Eren decides to replace his sword that was broken. They think that he will forge a special sword, but he surprises them that he will buy an ordinary one. They refuse that, and take him to the best blacksmith in the area. The blacksmith agrees to forge a strong sword, but he needs rare materials from the deep floors. At that moment, Eren surprises them by taking out a large quantity of resources that he collected previously, all of them of high value. Everyone is shocked when they see the black dragon scales, so the memory of Albert returns to them, and they feel sadness, but they do not show that in front of Eren. the blacksmith decides to forge the strongest sword possible using those scales. On the next day, the party gathers and decides to head to the 86th floor in a quest to gather poisonous sheep and to use them to test their cooperation with Iran. They set off immediately and reach the floor, which is a vast green area, contrary to expectation. Celia explains that the deep floors may take different forms. She takes leadership and distributes tasks to the party. She asks Eren whether he prefers to work alone, but he refuses because the goal is to test teamwork. Suddenly, a strong flame attacks them. They realize that it is an earth dragon, but the problem is that it is hidden. Lucre steps forward and uses her unique ability, magical tracking, so she determines its location precisely, then uses a spell to reveal it, and it appears immediately. Alex rushes to attack, but he is repelled easily. Then Rin uses an earth explosion spell that eliminates it quickly. Eren admires their teamwork coordination and sees that they are a distinguished party, but suddenly two other monsters appear. This time, Eren enters the battle. He advances with Alex, but he suddenly stops after he feels something strange. He attacks an empty place, and a monstrous turtle appears that was using a concealment spell. The party finds itself surrounded from two sides. Celia reacts quickly and orders Lucre and Rin to deal with the turtle, while Eren and Alex continue facing the other monsters. At that moment, Eren hears Celia's voice in his mind, giving him instructions, and he discovers that this is her unique ability, telepathy. She directs him precisely where Alex lures the monsters, while Eren executes the attack at the appropriate moment, and he manages to eliminate them with a single strike. On the other side, Lucre and Rin use a powerful spell to eliminate the turtle within seconds. They continue the quest, and everyone praises Eren's power and precision. Eren feels true happiness because he regained the feeling that he lost in the hero's party. At that moment, Celia asks him whether they have now become capable of surpassing the 92nd floor. They respond to him that they are indeed capable of surpassing that floor, and even defeating the Black Dragon as well, and not only because Iran is with them, but because they have become much stronger than they were before, and that they went through harsh experiences that refined their strength. Despite that, it was clear in their looks and movements that they were deeply affected by their last confrontation with that dragon, especially after the loss of Albert, who represented for them an irreplaceable strength and pillar. That loss was engraved in their memory, following them in every step and making them more cautious despite their current confidence. On the other hand, Celia was not prepared to repeat that tragedy again, and she did not want to lose anyone else from her friends. So this time she requested clearly that Eren be with them in that confrontation, not only as an attacker but as a true element of balance for the party. It was natural because he has now become one of them, a member of the first party, bearing the same responsibility and sharing the same fate. After that, the party completes their quest calmly and with clear harmony, as each individual begins to perform his role with precision, as if they had been accustomed to fighting together for a long time. They gather the required resources and deal with the surrounding environment with caution until they finally manage to complete the quest without any notable problems. Then they return to the surface, and thus it can be said that their first quest together has passed with complete success. At that moment, the atmosphere changes completely, as everyone begins to joke and argue about who hunted the largest number of poisonous sheep and who had the better performance, and the tension that was controlling them turns into a cheerful spirit full of vitality. During that, Eren asks Celia to guide him to the place of Stella because he wants to meet her on the next day, so Celia decides to go with him herself, especially since she intends to submit the quest report to the administration as well. As for the present time, they decide to go to have dinner together and to hold a simple celebration on the occasion of Iran joining the party. The atmosphere was full of comfort and warmth, and everyone was enjoying their time. But the happiest among them was Eren, because he began to feel that his decision was correct, and that he finally found a place he can belong to, a new family that compensates him for what he lost. With the passage of time, the drinking increases, and everyone begins to lose their balance, especially Celia, who was not accustomed to drinking in this quantity, so drowsiness overcomes her. At that point, Eren decides to carry her and take her to her home. On his way, Sophia encounters him, and she is surprised by seeing her sister in that state, and as soon as she sees Eren with her, she realizes that something has begun to form between them. Without saying much, she takes Celia and directs some words to her after Eren leaves. On the same night, we return to Eren while he is in his house, reading the files of the party that he will train. He is surprised that he will train the same 10th party, the party of Sophia, Logan, and Caroline. As he reads those files, he begins to understand the past of each one of them and the difficulties they went through, especially Caroline, whose past was full of pain. On the next day, he heads with Celia to Stella's office to discuss the training plan. There, the matter is handled by Stella's assistant, and she is called Carla. She asks Aaron whether he read the files, and he confirms that he did, and that he already decided to train them. He asks about the training system, but she tells him that there is no specific system and that he is free to train them in the way he sees appropriate, because she wants him to transfer to them his real experience. To set a clear goal, she sets a condition that the 10th party must be able within 6 months to deal with the intermediate floors. Although the goal seems difficult, Aaron does not see it as impossible. After he leaves, Celia asks him whether he understood the real relationship between her and Sophia through the files. It becomes clear that Sophia's mother was a servant in the house of Celia's family, and that Sophia is considered an illegitimate daughter, which made her suffer from harsh treatment in the past, especially during her training period. When she returned in a bad condition, Celia decided to take her with her and take care of her herself since that time. After that, she asks Aaron to take good care of Sophia. After that, he heads to the room where the 10th party is waiting for him, where they were very excited to see him and happy that he will be their new trainer, especially after he became their hero after defeating the dragon. But he surprises them by saying that they should not rule out that they may face that dragon one day, and he begins to motivate them, confirming that he trusts their ability to reach the required power. Before starting the training, he sets for them 2 basic rules. The first, that they think about every situation they face and not rely on memorized methods or one pattern in combat. The second, that his words are not always correct, because he is a human who makes mistakes and is correct, and they must analyze everything he says and ask him if they do not understand. Then he asks them to clarify the reason for choosing the path of adventurers. He begins with Sophia, who says that she wants to become like her sister Celia, capable of making her own decisions, but she is still searching for her true goal. After that, Logan speaks, who states frankly that he became an adventurer for money, which surprises the others, but he explains that his village was very poor, to the extent that they suffered to obtain food, and despite that its people gathered money to send him to the city, and he wants to become strong to return to them what they gave him. He thought that he had already reached that, but after seeing the power of Iran and the Black Dragon, he realized that the path is still long, but he believes that he will reach with Aaron's help. Aaron respects his goal and promises him to help him. Then comes Caroline's turn, who knows her goal well, but she chose to become an adventurer to eliminate the monsters that take away people's smiles, and she loves seeing people smile, because those who smile do not get hurt. It was a strange, almost emotionless answer, like a cold truth she had accepted, but Iran sensed the emptiness inside her, something deeper than words could hide. He does not comment, but tells them to hold on to their goals if they want to grow. He shares his own goal, to become strong enough to protect everything precious to him. From that moment, he treats them as true adventurers, asking for their full effort, even giving them nicknames as a symbol of a new bond. They enter the labyrinth to begin training. Caroline fights recklessly as usual, and Aaron disapproves. When a wolf nearly attacks her from behind, he saves her. She calmly reveals she knew, then suddenly wounds herself, only for it to heal instantly. It is her unique ability. Aaron recalls her past, experiments by a church-linked organization seeking to revive the Demon King. She was a victim, endless torture, until Albert saved her. She improved, but after his death, she broke again. Back in the present, Aaron shows her how her actions affect Sophia and Logan. She realizes her mistake and promises not to harm herself again. When she fears him, he surprises her by embracing her, promising protection. She finally calms down. Training continues. Caroline learns defense, Logan trains with a spear, and Sophia practices parallel casting. One day, a strange power erupts from Sophia, destroying a target. Aaron suspects a unique ability, but tells her to keep training. Time passes, and they improve greatly. Aaron receives his new sword. It feels perfect, powerful. He later defeats a boss on the 91st floor with ease. Preparations begin for the 92nd floor. Celia asks him to join, but he chooses to accompany Sophia's team instead. He reassures her, and she agrees. Later, Grandfather warns him about a dangerous organization, Amanos, appearing in the southern labyrinth, an enemy rivaling the church. They kill adventurers. Aaron realizes the threat is real. Days pass, and both teams enter the labyrinth. Sophia's team fights with clear coordination, impressing even the observer. Meanwhile, the first team faces the dragon. Celia supports, Aaron enhances himself, and they fight in sync. Back to Sophia's team. They encounter a group, Cheyenne's group. They are searching for the Dragon Slayer. One of them reads Logan's thoughts and learns the truth. Eren is the target. They see the students as an opportunity. At that moment, the observer realizes the danger and steps forward to protect them. But in a sudden moment, that man's neck was completely severed from his body in a shocking scene that froze the blood in their veins. Out of sheer terror, Logan orders everyone to flee immediately, but one of Shion's group uses powerful magic, sealing all the passages with rocks, tightening the siege on them from every direction. At that moment, everyone realizes there is no escape. On the other side, Caroline rushes forward, trying to buy time for her companions, despite knowing she might not survive. But with a single strike from her opponent, she is thrown violently into the wall and falls unconscious, as if she were nothing more than a minor obstacle. At that moment, Sophia trembles in fear, holding the chain Eren gave her, whispering within herself, wishing he were with them, wishing he would come and save them. At the same moment, the chain with Eren glows, and he immediately realizes they are in danger. But the situation was complicated. He is now facing the dragon, injured, and if he tries to end the battle quickly, he may fail. And if he delays, his students may die. A fatal hesitation. Suddenly, the dragon releases immense magical energy, and its severed limbs begin to regenerate, its wounds disappearing as if they never existed. Complete shock. Everything has returned to the starting point. They were not prepared for such a disaster. On the other side, Logan and Sophia face only one opponent, but he was enough to be their end. His name was Juba, and his power was overwhelming. Sophia tries to hold herself together, but fear is clear, so Logan encourages her, trying to keep her steady, assuring her that Caroline will recover. He begins using enhancement magic on them, and Sophia launches a lightning spell, but it is deflected easily as if it were nothing. Logan realizes they have no chance and tells her to run immediately. Juba advances toward them, but suddenly falls into a trap Logan had prepared, becoming trapped between rocks. Logan charges with the spear, but Juba catches it easily and destroys the trap effortlessly. Now, Logan lies before him, completely helpless. Juba decides to kill him, as one child is enough to lure Eren. Sophia watches, powerless, terrified. But at the last moment, her unique ability activates. Juba freezes in place. With one motion, she throws him away. She runs immediately to Logan and tries to heal him, but Juba rises again, without any effect from the attack. Angry, ready to finish them. On the other side, the dragon returns at full power, forming hundreds of magical arrows around it, ready to annihilate the entire party. Eren realizes there is no time. He releases a new power, evolves his sword, and strikes with a crushing blow that brings the dragon to the ground. But it regenerates again. Here, he realizes the truth. It must be killed instantly before it regenerates. The dragon attempts to attack with its tail. Celia steps forward as a shield, but the strike is stronger than her ability. The barrier shatters and she is thrown away. At that moment, Eren jumps over the dragon and drives his spear with all his strength in a single attack that shatters its entire body. For a moment, silence. On the other side, Logan has fallen, and Sophia is alone facing Juba. Fear controls her. The end approaches. Juba raises his hand to finish her. Suddenly, a powerful attack comes from afar and sends him flying. Eren has arrived. In a single moment, he appears beside them, reassures Sophia, gathers Logan and Caroline, and surrounds them with a magical barrier to protect them. Then he steps forward alone. He asks them about their identity. They answer, Amanos. They came to kill the Dragon Slayer, and they lured him using his students. They think they have the advantage, 3 against 1. But in a moment, Eren casts a weakening spell that immobilizes them. Then a lightning strike knocks them unconscious. All of them, except Shion. In an instant, he stands before her. He attacks, but she blocks his strike with ease. She responds with a powerful spell that forces him back. He is surprised. Her speed, her power. And she also realizes he is not ordinary. She asks him to join them. He asks about their goal, about why they kill adventurers. She answers with vague words about the original and the copy. He does not understand, but he refuses. She becomes angry and releases a barrage of fire spells. A massive explosion fills the place. She believes she has finished him, but Eren emerges from the smoke unharmed. He turned his sword into a shield and survived, then turns it back and seizes her. At that moment, the covering falls from her face. He feels he knows her, but he does not remember. As for her, she realizes the truth. Eren is alive. She begins to laugh, hysterically. She thinks it is a joke. He asks who she is. She asks him to stop the fight. She tells him he will know everything later. Then, she frees herself in a strange way. At the same moment, Erin's magic ends. Her followers begin to wake up. He prepares to fight again, but suddenly Celia and the party arrive. He expected a battle, but Cheyenne decides to withdraw and warns him not to try to kill her next time. She uses a transfer spell and disappears, along with all the secrets. For now, Celia and the others rush to Sophia and her companions and begin treating them. Logan asks about Cheyenne. Aran answers that he does not know her, but his memories are unclear. Elsewhere, Cheyenne appears, happy that he is alive, but sad, because he did not recognize her. She was waiting for a look of love, but she saw estrangement, so she decides to take revenge on those who caused that. Elsewhere, we see Oliver training without stopping. Erin's defeat of the dragon still haunts him. He feels inferior. Veli comes and tells him about an upcoming tournament. She asks him to defeat Erin before everyone and prove that he is the hero. In the final scene, the supreme leader appears, the head of the church. He wonders, how did Aran reach this power? More strangely, he became an adventurer and may complete the labyrinth, and this is in his interest. He smiles and hopes this game continues. Only then, he may forgive Aran for what he did to him in the past.